Hare Krishna. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Narayanam Namaskritya Naram Chaiva Narottamam Devim Saraswatim Vyasam ततो जयमुदीरयेत् नष्टप्रायेष्वभद्रेषु नित्यं भागवत सेवया भगवतीर्वुत्तमश्लोके भक्तिर्भवती नैष्टिकी कृष्णाय वासुदेवाय देवकीनन्दनाय च नन्दगोपकुमाराय गोविन्दाय नमः। ॐ ज्ञानतिमिरन्दस्य ज्ञानाञ्जनशलाकया चक्षुरोन्मिलितं येन तस्मै श्रीगुरवे नमः। नमो ॐ विष्णुपादाय कृष्णप्रेष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमते भक्तिवेदान्त स्वामिन्निति नामिने। नमस्ते सारस्वती देवी गौरवाणि प्रचारिणे निर्विशेष शून्यवादी पाश्चात्य देशतारिणे। जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासादि गौर भक्त वृंद। हरे कृष्णा कृष्ण कृष्ण हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे। हरे
Prabhuji,
कृष्ण।
so I'm kind of a bit, yeah, so I'm kind of a bit lost because I don't know if because I couldn't attend the last lecture. So, what now you will be discussing will be Sri Jiva Goswami will relate Brahmaji's experience of the form of the Lord as given in the third canto. Is that what you are going to speak about?
Yes, yes,
Is
yes.
that yeah? Okay, yeah, okay. Thank you, thank you.
So we'll start the 51st anuccheda. तदेवं नित्यत्वात् विभुत्वात् सर्वाश्रयत्वात् स्थूल सूक्ष्म प्राकृत वस्त्वतिरिक्तत्वात् प्रत्यग रूपत्वात् स्वप्रकाशत्वात् सर्वश्रुति समन्वय सिद्धत्वात् तद्रूपं परमतत्व रूपमेव इति सिद्धम्. So you see the Panchami Vibhakti is used. Nityatvat, Vibhutvat. Panchami Vibhakti is used. One of the meanings of the for using the Panchami Vibhakti is the Hetu. Hetu means reason, Karana. So because the form of the Lord is Nityatvat, eternal, or it has been established that the form of the Lord is indeed the supreme absolute truth. Parama tad rupam parama tattva rupam eva iti siddham. Parama tattva, the form of the supreme, form of the Lord is the parama tattva, the supreme absolute truth. Because of the following reasons, because of the above reasons. Nityatvat, eternal. Vibhutvat, all pervading. Sarvashrayatvat, sarva ashrayatvat, being the shelter of, because it's the shelter of everything. Stula Sukshma Prakrita Vastu Atiriktatvat, because it is different from the Stula and the Sukshma Vastu, gross and subtle material objects. Different from them. Pratyag Rupatvat, Pratyak Rupatvat means beyond sense perception. Swaprakashatvat, because it is self-luminous. Sarvashruti Samanvaya Siddhatvat, because form of the Lord is that in which all the statements of the Shrutis find reconciliation. Therefore, the form of the Lord has been established as the Parama Tattva Rupam. It is a form of the supreme truth. Ataiva hi, tata eva hi, Parama Vaidushyena. Parama Vaidushyena, here it refers to Brahma. Parama Vaidushyena Anubhutam Spashtam eva aga Tribihi. And this has been proved by the experience of the Parama Vaidushya, that is Brahma. It is explained in 3 shlokas, 3.9.2 to 4. Rupam yadetadavabodharasodayena shashvan nivrittamasa sadanugrahaya adau grihitam avatara shataika bijam Yannabi Padma Bhavanadagama Virasam. So, what is the Rupam Yadeta Davaboda Rasodayena Shashvan Nivritta Tamasa Sadanugrahaya. Nivritta Tamasaha, freed from ignorance. Shashvan Nivritta Tamasaha, because you are eternally freed from ignorance. Because of Avaboda Rasodayena, due to the upsurge of Avabodha Rasa, due to the upsurge of the overwhelming taste, Avabodha Rasa, due to the upsurge of the overwhelming taste in the form of knowing, Avabodha. You have assumed this form from the very beginning. You, who are eternally free of ignorance, due to the upsurge of overwhelming taste in the form of knowing, have assumed this form. Rupam yad yetad rupam. Yetad rupam. You have assumed this form from the very beginning. Adau grihitam. From the very beginning. For what purpose? Sad anugrahaya. In order to bless the Sat. Sat refers to the devotees. The 17th chapter, 26th and 27th shloka also. Sadbhave sadhubhave cha sadit Sadbhave sadhubhave cha sadit. The word Sat, that verse refers to the supreme absolute truth and also the devotees who are devoted to the absolute truth. So Sat refers to the devotees. You have assumed this form in order to bless the devotees. Sadanugrahaya adau grihitam avatara shataika bijam yannabi padma bhavanad agamavirasam. This form is the avatara shataika bijam, is a unique seed from which hundreds of avatars arise. Avatara shataika bijam. This form is the seed from which the hundreds of avatars arise. And I myself, aham avirasam, I myself have appeared from the lotus flower, Padma, which has emanated from the navel of this form. Yennabi Padma Bhavanad Aham Avirasam. So Brahma is giving his own experience of the Lord's form. His own experience. Parama Vaidushyena Anubhutam. Tika cha, Sridhar Swami's Tika. Nanu Twamapi Nanu Twamapi Samyang na janasi yat tvaya drishtam Rupam etadapi gunatmakameva nirgunam brahmaiva tu satyam. So whenever the word nanu comes, that means a prativadi argument. An opposing argument is cited by the Acharya, then he reflects. So here the Bhagavan himself is objecting to Brahma. Twamapi samyang na janasi. You don't know the complete truth about me. You don't understand properly. Yat tvaya drishtam, whatever you have seen, whatever rupa you have seen, that rupa is also made of the three gunas only. Gunatmakam eva. Nirgunam Brahma eva tu satyam. The Nirguna Brahma is the real reality. Nirguna Brahma is the truth. Like that, the Lord is objecting to Brahma. And in response, Brahma says, Tatra aha rupam iti dvabhyam. In response, Brahma speaks the following two shlokas. That is the basically second shloka and third shloka. Avabodha rasodayena. Avabodha rasodayena means what? Chit shaktya avirbhavena. Chit shakti means the spiritual potency, Swarupa Shakti. Chit Shaktya Avirbhavena. That means by the presence of your conscious potency. Chit Shaktya, by the presence of your conscious potency. Shashvan Nivrittam Tamo. Eternally freed from ignorance. Yasmat Tasya Tava Yadeta Drupam Tvaya Eva Swatantriyena Statam Upasakanam Anugrahaya Grihitam Avishkritam. So by your Chit Shakti, by your conscious potency, you are eternally freed from ignorance. And because of that, this form, Yetad Rupam, Swatantriyena, independently by your will, by your free will, you have assumed this form in order to Upasakanam Anugrahai, in order to bless those who worship you, in order to bless your devotees. And Avatar Shatasya Shuddha Sattvatmakasya Yad Ekam Bijam Moolam. This form is the seed of the hundreds of avatars. And it is made of the Shuddha Sattvatmakasya, it is made of Shuddha Sattva. This is the only seed of the hundreds of avatars. Tat Pradarshanartham Gunavatara Bijatvam Darshayati Yannabhi. And Lord Brahma is confirming that and is demonstrating that by saying that I am your Gunavatara, the seed of me is also you, because I have appeared from the lotus flower which has emanated from your navel. And then the next shloka, that is 3.9.3. Nata param paramayat bhavatasvarupam आनन्दमात्रमविकल्पमविद्दवर्चः पश्यामि विश्वसृजमेकमविश्वमात्मन् भूतेन्द्रियात्मकमदस्तवुपाश्रितोऽस्मि नातः परं परमयद्भवतः. O Supreme Lord, O Supreme Lord, Pashyami, I do not perceive your essence, which is bliss alone, Ananda Matram. I do not, na Pashyami, so you have to say, na Pashyami, I do not perceive your essence, which is bliss alone, Swarupam Ananda Matram. And also, so three words are used, Ananda Matram, Avikalpam and Avidya Varchaha. Three words are used. I do not perceive your essence, which is bliss alone, Ananda Matram, and Avikalpam. Avikalpa means undifferentiated being. Vikalpa means many divisions are there. Avikalpa means without any divisions, undifferentiated being. And Avidya Varchaha. Avidya Varchaha means Varchas refers to that effulgence. Avidya means unobstructed effulgence. I do not perceive your essence, which is bliss alone, undifferentiated being, and unobstructed effulgence, as anything different from this form. Nata param parama yat bhavata swarupam. Bhavatah swarupam paramam. I do not perceive this as anything different from this form. So this form is only the bliss personified. This form is undifferentiated being, and this form is unobstructed effulgence. Is giving unobstructed effulgence. And therefore, upashrito asmi. Therefore, I take shelter of this form, which is unique. Vishwasrijam ekam. Ekam means this is a unique. There is no other form like this, which is unique. And Vishwasrijam, which only creates this universe. At the same time, Avishwamatman. At the same time, it is different from the universe. And Bhutendriyatmaka Madas. And this form is being the self and the essence of the material elements in the senses. Bhuta Indriya Atmaka Madas. This form being the self and the essence of the material elements in the senses. I take shelter of this form. The explanation of the shloka. The Brahma is addressing Krishna by the word He Parama, O Supreme One. So Avidya Varcha means what? Anavrita Prakasham. Prakasha means effulgence. Anavrita, unobstructed effulgence. Effulgence which is not covered, which is not obstructed by anything. Ataha avikalpam. Avikalpam means what? Nirbedam, without any difference. Without any differentiation. Ataha Atayeva Ananda Matram. Therefore, your form is actually bliss, composed of only bliss. Evam bhutam yad bhavatah swarupam tad ato rupat param binnam na pashyami kintu idameva tat. This form only is having that characteristics. The form which I am seeing, this form is only Ananda Matram, Avikalpam and Avidya Varcha. This form is not different from that form which has the characteristics of Ananda Matram, Avikalpam and Avidya Varcha. Atak Karanat te tava ada idam rupam ashritosmi. Therefore, I take shelter of this form. Yogyatvad api ityaha. Ekam upasyeshu mukhyam yato vishwasrajam. So Brahma then describes the characteristics of the Lord's form that establish its worthiness of being his shelter. Why the form is actually yogya? Why the form is actually having the right qualification to take shelter? Ekam upasyeshu mukhyam. Brahma is actually establishing that by saying that this form is unique. This form is unique because it is the supreme among the objects of worship. Upasyeshu mukhyam. This form is, Brahma has used the word ekam. Ekam means unique. Why this form is unique? Because upasyeshu mukhyam. Upasya means that which is worthy to be worshipped. There are so many forms that may be worthy to be worshipped. So many devatas form may also be worthy to be worshipped. But among the so many forms which are worthy to be worshipped, Mukhyam, your form is the chief. Therefore, your form is unique. Because Yataha, why this form is the unique? Because Yataha means because. Vishwasrijam, because this form is the creator of the universe. Atayeva Avishwam Vishwasmad Anyat. And as such, this form is also different from the universe. Vishwasmad Anyat. Avishwam is also different from the universe. Kimcha Bhutendriyatmakam Bhutanam Indriyanam cha Atmanam Karanam Ityartha. Moreover, it is the self and the essence that is the cause of both the senses and the material elements. Indriyanam and Bhuta is the material elements, Indriya the senses. Bhutendriyatmakam, this form is the cause of the senses and the material elements. This is the third shloka. Now the fourth shloka. 3.9.4. Tadvayidam bhuvana mangala mangalaya ध्याने स्मनो दर्शितं तवुपासकानां तस्मै नमो भगवते अनुविधेम तुभ्यं यो नादृतो नरकभाग्भिरसत्प्रसङ्गैः. So here Brahma is addressing as Bhuvana Mangala, O source of the world's auspiciousness, Bhuvana Mangala. This is certainly the same form you manifested to us. Tad idam, the same form which you manifested to us, your worshippers, Upasakanam, in our meditation for our welfare. Mangalaya Dhyanesmanaha Darshitam. This is certainly the same form you manifested to us, your worshippers, in your meditation, in our meditation for our welfare. Therefore, Namaha, Tasmai Namaha, we offer obeisances to that form again and again. Anuvidema, to you again and again. Tasmai Namo Bhagavate Anuvidema Tubhyam. Therefore, we offer obeisances to you again and again. Yena Druto Naraka Bhagbir Asat Prasangai. Ye Anadrita means disregarding. Your form is disregarded by two people, Naraka Bhagbir and Asat Prasangai. By those who are destined for hell and by Asat Prasangai. Those people who are influenced by the company of Asat, by the non-devotees. So by the your form is disregarded by those people who are influenced by the company of the untrue or the inessential Asat Prasangai. So then explanation of the shloka. So Nanu, there is an argument here. So Lord is giving an argument. Nanu evam api sopadikam etad arvachinam eva it ashankyaha tadvai tadeva idam he bhuvana mangala. So Brahma, actually this form is also sopadika. Sopadika means this form is also having the upadhis. Upadhi, like all of us, we have upadhis. We have upadhis related to the body. Bhakti is an activity which is performed free from all the upadhis. Sarvopadhi vinirmuktam tat paratvena nirmalam rishikena rishikesha sevanam bhakti ruchate. Because the Bhagavan is actually free from any upadhis, therefore bhakti is an activity which is performed free from upadis. Or as a result of bhakti, a person becomes free from all the upadis. Naham vipro nacha narapatir napi vaishyo na shudro naham varni nacha grihapatir no vanasto yatirva kintu prodyan nikila paramananda purnamritabder gopi bharatur padakamalayur dasa dasanu dasa. I am not a Brahmana, Kshatriya, Vaishya, Shudra, Brahmachari, Grahastha, Vanaprastha, Sannyasi. I simply identify myself to be the servant, the servant of the Krishna, who is the master of the gopis. But the Lord is saying that this form you have seen, it is also sopadika, it is also having limiting adjuncts. And arvachina, this form is a recent form. This form is a recent form. Like that one may object. Evam iti ashankya. Expecting such an objection, Brahma is replying that Tadvai Tadeva idam he Bhuvana Mangala. Brahma is saying that this form is certainly the same form. And you are the source of all the auspiciousness. Bhuvana Mangala, source of all auspiciousness for the entire world. Yataha te tvaya naha asmakam upasakanam mangalaya dhyane darshitam. Because we, your upasakas, worshippers, when we meditated upon you, you actually showed your mercy by showing this form. By showing this form. You showed us, your worshippers, this self-same form in our meditation for our welfare. So, and then he says that, Nahi avyakta vartmavi niveshita chittanam asmakam sopadikam darshanam datum yuktamiti bhava. Nahi avyakta vartmavi niveshita chittanam asmakam sopadikam darshanam datum yuktamiti bhava. The meaning here. The import is that it is not befitting for you to show a material form to us. Sopadikam darshanam datum yuktam na datum yuktam. It is not befitting. We actually meditated upon you, and it is not befitting that you show a form with the upadis. It is not befitting that you to show a material form to us, because we have fixed our minds. Avyakta vartmabi niveshita chittanam asmakam. Avyakta vartmabi niveshita. Because we have fixed our minds on you through the path leading to the unmanifest. Avyakta means unmanifest. We fixed our mind on you by following that path leading to the unmanifest. Therefore, it is not befitting that you show a sopadika form, a material form to us. Ataha tubhyam namo anuvidema anuvritya karavama. Therefore, we offer obeisances to you again and again. We are impelled to do so constantly. And then Lord is asking that, Tarhi kimiti kechin mam na adriyante. Then why is it that some people, they don't respect my form? Na adriyante. क्यों कुछ लोग मुझे आदर नहीं कर रहे हैं? तो तत्र आह येनादृतः. In response to that, Brahma says that yenadritah. So you see that every word in the shloka, there is a relation between the different words. The purport is basically, they are just simply expanding the meaning of every word in the shloka. That is the purport of the acharyas. They are just trying to illuminate every word in the shloka. And through that, they are glorifying Krishna. Tatra aha yenadritah iti asat prasangai nirishwara kutarka nishtaihi ityesha. Why some people disrespect you? Because asat prasangai. Because of association with the asat. Asat means what here? Nirishwara kutarka nishtaihi. Those whose nishta is fixed on Nirishwaravada, atheism. And kutarka, those who are fixed in the kutarka, dry logic. That means those who are committed to an inherently defective logical perspective that fails to accommodate the absolute as a personal God. By the association of such people, one disrespects the Bhagavan. Atra kalpitamapi arthantaram yasya vidvat guna gurutvat न संभवति एव इति व्यंजितं न अव्यक्तवर्त्म इति. So it is implied here that since Brahma is Vidvat Gana Guru, that means since Brahma is the chief among the scholars, the Vidvat Gana Guru, who is the chief among the Sabha of the learned people. Since Brahma is the chief among the scholars, Atra Kalpitam Api Arthantaram. So therefore, no other Kalpitam Api Arthantaram. Therefore, no other imaginary meaning can be given to the above verses. Kalpitam Api Arthantaram Yasya Vidvat Gana Gurutvat Na Sambhavati. Somebody may say that Brahma is giving an imaginary meaning. Neither one may accuse Brahma. Brahma is actually giving an imaginary meaning for the form of the Lord. Here Jiva Goswami is saying that no, Brahma is not an ordinary person. Vidvat Gana Guru. He is the Guru of the Vidvat Sabhas. Why would he actually imagine? Why would he give an imaginary explanation? It's not proper that he gives an imaginary explanation. And Uktam Chaitat Uktam Chaitat Stutitaha Prak Uktam Cha Etat Stutitaha Prak Avyaktavartmani Avyaktavartman Abhiniveshit Avyaktavartman Avyaktavartman Yaviveshitatma. So this is a 3.8.33. The third kind of 8th chapter end. This term comes Avyaktavartma Abhiniveshitatma. That means Brahma was fixed. The before third canto 9th chapter is the Brahma's prayers for creative energy, and third canto 8th chapter end the term comes as that Avyakta Vartman Abhiniveshitatma. That means Brahma was fixed on the path leading to the unmanifest. Avyakta Vartmani Abhiveshitatma. Brahma was fixed in the path leading to the unmanifest. Vartman Abhiveshitatma. So therefore, because Brahma was fixed on that path and Brahma experienced this form, he is describing this form. Therefore, Brahma's explanation cannot be considered as some imaginary, concocted explanation. And that is what Jiva Goswami says. And then, Mam Nadriyante iti Vigraha Rupam Mam Ityeva Artaha. Mam Ityeva Artaha. So, why do some people not honor me? Mam Nadriyante. So the pronoun me implies the mam, that itself implies that absolute truth is specifically endowed with the form. He is endowed with the form. Since the absolute inherently self-endowed with form has been established as the Parabrahman. Vigrahasya eva Parabrahmatvena Stapitatvat. Ata eva ये विग्रहं एतादृशतया न मन्यन्ते ते विद्वद् अनुभव विरुद्धमतयो नेश्वरमपि मन्यन्ते इत्यत आह निरीश्वर इति. Therefore, those who do not accept the form of the Lord in this way, they contradict the experience of the realized beings. Vidvad Anubhava Viruddha Matayo. They contradict the experience of the realized beings. And they fail to recognize the Lord. Neshwaram api manyante. They say that, oh, there is no Ishvara only. They fail to recognize the Lord. And Sridhar Swami says that such people are influenced by the inherently defective logic that fails to accommodate the absolute as a personal God. This is the fourth shloka explanation. Now the fifth shloka, 3.9.5. Very beautiful shloka. Ye tu tvadiya charanam bhujakosha gandham jigranti karna vivarai shrutivataneetam bhaktya grihita charana paraya cha tesham नापैषि नाथ हृदयां बुरुहात् स्वपुंसाम्. So Brahma goes on to pray, "O my Lord." He is beginning the shloka by the word ye tu. Tu, the word tu shows that the people who are going to be spoken about in this shloka is different from the people spoken in the end of the previous shloka. That is that asat prasangai. End of the previous shloka, those two words came. That Naraka Bhagvir Asat Prasangai. So different from those people. On the other hand, those people who smell the fragrance from the whirl of your lotus feet, which has been carried to the holes of their ears, Jigranti Karna Vivarai, Shruti Vata Neetam, by the breezes of the revealed sound, by the breezes of the Vedic literatures. And such persons, they hold on to those feet with a supreme devotion. Bhaktya grihita charana. Grihita charana. They hold on to those feet with supreme devotion. Paraya bhaktya. Paraya is the adjective for bhaktya. And these people are your very own people. Swapumsam. They are your own, very own people. Napaishi nata hridayam buruhat. So therefore, you never leave the lotus of their hearts. Hridayam buruhat napaishi. Now, therefore, you never leave the lotus of their hearts. So, explanation of this verse. Ityanantara padye tu shabdena yo anadrita ityadyuktebhyo bahirmukha janebhyo vilakshanattvena nirdishtanam tadrisha Shri Bhagavat Rupa Nishtanam eva Shrutivata Neetam iti Shabdena Pramanena Bhaktya Grihita Charana Ityanubhavena cha Prasatya Muktam. So the word tu shows that the people spoken about this shloka are distinct from the people spoken in the previous shlokas. And the present verse indicates the superiority of the devotees whose nishtha is reposited in the absolute as Bhagavan, endowed with a transcendental form. Tadrisha Shri Bhagavat Rupa Nishthanam eva. So in the previous verse, Asat Prasangai, Asat refers to those who are Kutarka Nishtha, those whose Nishtha are in the wrong logic. But these people are Shri Bhagavat Rupa Nishtha. Their faith is actually reposited in the absolute as Bhagavan, endowed the transcendental form. The basis of the superiority is actually both theoretical and experiential. You see, the word pramanena and also anubhavena comes. The basis of their superiority is that because by pramana, from the Vedic literatures, they accept your form. Not only by the pramana, but by their anubhava, by their own personal experience. By their own personal experience, they actually experience the bliss of your form. The basis of the superiority is both theoretical and experiential, as indicated by the two adjective phases. Shruti Vata Nita, that means carried by the breezes of the revealed sound, mean that they have arrived at this understanding of the absolute on the authority of the Vedic revelation, Shabda Pramana. Furthermore, the words Grihita Charana mean that they have directly witnessed, experienced, and realized the absolute as Bhagavan, replete with the transcendental form. Replete with the transcendental form. So, I will just go through the purport and then we will end. So, 4 shlokas have been discussed, 3.9.2 to 5. So, in the previous few sections, Jiva Goswami established that the Lord Swami is eternal and transcendental. Now, he is substantiating this through the experience of Brahma, who is one of the Mahajanas. And Brahma is reciting the shlokas in glorification of Narayana at the beginning of creation. So Brahma was eager to create, but he didn't know how to proceed. Therefore, he started praying to the Lord, who is the abode of all knowledge. So everybody is imperfect in this world. Therefore, everybody has to depend on somebody else for material knowledge. Brahma also knew this, and therefore, without faith in the scriptures and the sages who have directly realized them, nobody can approach the absolute truth. So in these prayers, Brahma is declaring that the Lord Swami is the absolute truth and there is nothing beyond it. Nata param, parama. There is nothing beyond this one. There cannot be two absolute truth. Ekam, the word ekam is mentioned. Therefore, the Lord and his body cannot be independent of each other. And Brahma is also singling out that form which is directly in front of him. And Avabodha Rasa, Lord Swami is a manifestation of the taste of knowledge. Avabodha Rasa, the pure consciousness. And therefore it is Shashvan Nivritta Tamasa, eternally freed from ignorance. So normally, when there is a presence of Tamoguna, that means you can also infer the presence of the other two gunas, Sattva and Rajoguna. So all the bodies of the living entities, including Brahmas, they have some amount of ignorance, different degrees of ignorance. And Brahma also says that the form which I am seeing is the seed of the hundreds of avatars. That means the absolute reality is the original form from which all other forms appear. But so in this analogy, normally in this world, when there is a seed, the seed transforms itself to become a tree and which grows to different branches and then the flowers and then which contain many seeds. So any seed becomes the source of many hundreds of other seeds. But the difference is that the seed itself becomes transformed. But in the case of the Bhagavan, although Bhagavan is the source of the hundreds of avatars, he himself does not become transformed. That is because of the Achintya Shakti of the Lord. Or another example is from the Brahma Samhita, Deeparcha Revahi Dashantaram Abhyupetya Deepayate Vivrita Hetu Samana Dharma Yastadrgeva Kicha Vishnu Taya Vibhati Govinda Madi Purusham Tamaham Bhajam. When the flame of one lamp is transferred from one wick to another, the second lamp burns separate from the original source but remains the same in all the characteristics. So I adore the primeval Govinda who in the same manner manifests himself in the various forms of Vishnu. One candle lights up other candles, but the original candle also does not become transformed. And that, so till this paragraph, the 3.9.2 is explained. And then 3.9.3, Brahma explicitly states that he does not consider the Lord's form and his essential nature to be different. And he is using three adjectives. Ananda Matra, Avidya Varcha and Avikalpa. So the Lord and his form are absolutely free from the gunas of nature, which are sources of misery. Although he is the source of the universe, the universal elements do not exist in his transcendental body. Vishwasrijam and Avishwam. He is different from the universe. So the Lord is the material and the efficient cause of the universe. At the same time, is different from the universe. Just as a person making sweets is different from them, the Lord is different from the creation. He is the cause of all causes, at the same time he is aloof. So generally again, the material causes, they transform themselves into their effects. Milk is the cause of curd, but milk gets transformed into curd. But unlike the material causes, Bhagavan does not undergo transformation from the act of creating. Our example to understand is that Bhagavan is like a touchstone. Touchstone transforms anything it touches into gold, but the touchstone does not get transformed. So magnet can magnetize a piece of iron, but without itself being affected. So Bhagavan creates the universal form, Pradhana, but modifications in Pradhana do not affect his form or personality because he is eternally situated in a transcendental position. And then the Bhagavan is described also by Brahma by the word avikalpa, undifferentiated. So in the case of the Pradhana, he transforms into many categories of elements. Mahatattva, Akankara, senses, sense objects, etc. And these elements contain some specific qualities not observed in the Mahat. And because of that, it gives rise to duality. But in the Bhagavan, there is no such a duality. So the empiric duality, which is the cause of misery, but in the Bhagavan's form, there is no tinge of misery to be found in the Bhagavan. He is Ananda Matram, Avikalpam, Avidya Varcham. Avikalpam, the divisions of names and forms in the material world are temporary and cause illusion to the living being. But because the Lord is Ananda Matram, unadulterated bliss, and without any material divisions, he is self-luminous. Avidya Varcha. Avidya Varcha can also mean self-luminous. This is a third adjective. The self-luminous means what? That means Bhagavan can be known only by his mercy. We cannot perceive the Lord with our material mind and senses. And Avidya Varcha also means that he is purely conscious. And then Vishwasrijam and Avishwam, although he is the cause of the universe, he is not the universe. He is distinct from the universe. So because the Lord's form is having these characteristics, therefore the worship of such a form is appropriate, is worthy to be worshipped. So all these characteristics distinguish the Lord's form from the material body. And the Lord's form is the source of all auspiciousness, Bhuvana Mangala. And Rupa Goswami defines the Mangala auspiciousness in the Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu. How do we explain what is auspicious? Shubhani Prinanam Sarva Jagatam Anuraktata Sadguna Sukamityadini Akyatani Manishibihi. What is the meaning of auspiciousness? Auspiciousness means to be pleasing to the whole cosmos. Jagatam Prinanam. To be loved by everyone. To be endowed with all good qualities. And to be content. This is the definition of auspiciousness. And the Lord's form is the source of all auspiciousness. Another verse is quoted from the first canto, 14th chapter, to explain how the Lord is the shelter of all auspiciousness. Spoken by Yudhishthira Maharaj. Mangalaaya cha lokanam kshemaaya cha bhavaaya cha aste yadukulam bodha adyo nantasakappuman yad bahu danda guptayam swapuryam yadahorchita क्रीडन्ति परमानन्दं महा पौरुषिका इव. So Yudhishthira Maharaj says that for the welfare, prosperity, the general well-being of all the worlds, the original person Krishna is present in the ocean of the Yadava family, accompanied by his constant companion Ananta, that is Balaram, and respected by all the Yadavas. Respected by all, the Yadavas revel like the attendants of Vishnu in their own city of Dwaraka, which is protected by Krishna's long arms. So, in reality, auspiciousness means progress on the path of transcendence. So, the real auspiciousness is something which takes a person close to Krishna. And what is inauspicious is that something which takes a person away from Krishna. If wealth, because of wealth and power, if a person forgets Krishna, that is inauspicious. Because of difficulties, if a person comes close to Krishna, that is auspicious. So all other so-called progress is mere phantasmagoria, like a mirage, water in the mirage. So the purpose of human life is to awaken the spiritual truth. All other pursuits are temporary and ultimately lead to misery. And Prahlad Maharaj compared sensual gratification to be like an itching sensation. Provides initial relief but eventually aggravates the pain. So, but as Krishna is the spiritual teacher of the whole cosmos and the source of transcendental knowledge, he is all auspicious and therefore Brahma takes shelter of him. And by taking shelter of such a Bhagavan, the devotee also becomes auspicious. And by the mercy of such a devotees, the conditioned soul's ignorance is removed and auspiciousness is infused into their unfulfilled lives. But then still, there are certain class of people who disrespect the Lord because of the association with the untruth, asat prasangai. And such people they have a reductionistic idea. And they have a defective logic by which they fail to accommodate the absolute as a person. So such people, therefore, they are fit candidates for going to hell, fit to be punished by Yamaraj. And those who hold on to such misperception, they include the atheists and also the radical Advaitavada philosophers who say Brahma Satyam Jagan Mithya, the world is illusory. So the association is the fundamental cause behind a person's upliftment or a downfall, and Chanakya Pandit also talks about the importance of association. And then lastly, the fifth shloka is explained. But the devotees, on the other hand, they experience the flavor of the Lord's pastime with their ears. With their ears. So revealed sound, the Vedic scriptures are compared to a pleasant breeze. And the pleasant breeze goes in every direction, carrying the fragrance of the Lord's pastimes. So when the fragrance pervades the air, the sound vibrations of the Lord's pastime, they travel through the ether. So because the devotees never leave the lotus feet of the Lord also never abandons the lotus-like hearts of the devotees. So the phrase Shruti Vata indicates that the Bhagavan can be known only through the Shabda Pramana. Just like the smell can be perceived only when carried by the air, Bhagavan can be perceived only with the Shabda Pramana. Asat Prasanga refers to those who do not acknowledge the Vedic authority because of adopting an inherently reductionistic or defective logical perspective. And we know that among the different types of Shabda Pramana, Srimad Bhagavatam is the topmost. And Brahma was the first to hear it. And Brahma boldly accepted the form of the Lord as transcendental and non-different from him. And he denounces all those people who stand in opposite conclusion. So therefore, those who accept the Brahma's vision, they are the truly learned. They are truly learned. Not only do the Lord's Swamsha Leela Avataras have transcendental bodies, but even the body of an Avesha Avatara. So in this verse, the Swamsha Leela Avatara, the Vishnu Tattva is described, how their form is transcendental, that is described. But not only that, the forms of the Vishnu Tattvas are transcendental, but even the Avesha Avataras of the Lord, they are also transcendental. For example, Rishabhade's form is also transcendental. That will be explained in the next anuccheda. That will be explained in the next anuccheda. Any questions in this anuccheda? Correct.
So, Prabhuji, in the beginning, you recited.
Sorry, you can tell again.
Yeah. So, in the beginning, when you recited that shloka, it was in which case you said?
Panchami Vibhakti. No, that
It was
not
in.
shloka. The prose was in Panchami Vibhakti.
Yeah. Acha, acha. Okay, okay. Thank you.
Nityatvat, Vibhutvat, Sarvashrayatvat. They are in Panchami Vibhakti. Okay.
So that's apadan. Is that apadan?
Apadana,
Panchami
yes.
is apadan.
Apadana, yes. Every
It's
Vibhakti
more like
is used in
we
many
have
meanings.
discussed.
Many meanings. So here the Apadana Vibhakti is used in the sense of a Karana, Ketu. Like we may say Vrikshat Patram Patati. So that from the leaf is falling from the tree. So Apadana is a separation. So here it is not used in the sense of a Ketu. But in this Vrikshat Patram Patati, here the Panchami Bhakti is not used in the sense of a Ketu or a Karana. The sense of separation, Apadana. But here in this shloka, Nityatvat, Vibhutvat, Sarvashrayatvat, here that it is used in the sense of a Karana. Because the Lord Swami is eternal, all pervading, shelter of everything, therefore it is the supreme truth.
So, Prabhuji, in which shloka of Srimad Bhagavatam was where all most of the names of Krishna comes? Like, is there any like thing like that? Where most of the names? I don't know, somebody asked me this and I couldn't answer. Like, I know, but the primary and secondary names are there in Bhagavad Gita, but I
Most
couldn't
of the
answer
names
this
like that,
Srimad
it's not there.
Bhagavatam. Like,
Most of the names like that. But Queen Kunti's
okay, not.
prayer, the last prayer,
Uh,
1.8.43. Shri Krishna
Shru-
Krishna Saka Vrishabhavanidrut Rajanya Vamshadahanana Pavarga Virya Govinda Godvija Surarti Haravatara Yogeshwara Kila Guru Bhagavan Namaste. So she is simply reciting many names of Krishna and then says, I offer my obeisances. Like that she concludes her prayer. She began her prayer by saying that Namasye
so
Purusham
that
Tvadyam.
Krishna over here is.
She is concluding the prayer also by saying that Namaste. It began by saying I offer obeisances. It is concluding also by saying that I offer obeisances. And then in the last shloka, she is mentioning many names of Krishna.
So that second Krishna is Arjun, right? Is it Arjun? Sri
Krishna
Krishna,
Saka.
and then again she mentions.
Krishna Saka
Yeah,
is the
because
friend of
Sakha of
Arjun.
Krishna, so Arjun is also called Sakha.
Tim, there is a lag in the voice, I think. Audio.
Yeah, okay. So the second time when she says Krishna, that is Arjun, right?
Correct. Yes.
First time is Sri Krishna, and second time is Arjun, right? So it's 1.8.43, right?
Yes.
1.8.43. Yeah, okay, thank you.
Going 51 anuchedas we have completed. Halfway through exactly. Totally 102 anuchedas are. Okay.
This is like how when there was a conversation about Narayan and Krishna, so similar like that. There is this, that Nanu, like, how he establishes that Narayan is just an ansh of Krishna. That whole series of verses like that, they are, this conversation is also like that, similar about.
Okay. Thank you, Manthan. Thank you. So we'll stop here. Next week we'll continue the 52nd anucheda. Grantharaj Srimad Bhagavatam